7 men picked her up off the side of the road. Not one of them made it home. For over a year, Florida's highways hid a secret no one saw coming. Because the person carrying it looked like she needed saving, not the one doing the killing. This is her crime. Aileen Carol Wuornos was born on February 29, 1956 in Rochester, Michigan, a leap year baby, born into a family that was already broken before she arrived. Her father was a convicted child molester who took his own life in prison before she was old enough to remember his face. Her mother walked away when Aileen was still a toddler, leaving her and her brother behind. She was raised by her grandparents, and by her own later accounts, the house she grew up in was no safer than the one she'd been left by. She said the abuse started early, and it never really stopped. By 11, she was already trading herself for money, cigarettes, anything that got her through the day. By 14, she was pregnant. The baby was taken from her before she'd even held it. Not long after, she left home for good. She spent the next decade drifting, hitchhiking across state lines, surviving however she could, collecting arrests the way other people collect years of experience. By the time she landed in Florida, she was already a woman the system had given up trying to fix. In 1986, at a gay bar in Daytona Beach, she met a hotel maid named Tyria Moore. They fell into a relationship, and for the first time in years, Aileen had something that felt like stability. But stability costs money. And the way Aileen made hers was standing on the shoulder of Central Florida's highways, working as a prostitute for the men who slowed down for her, middle-aged, traveling alone, the kind of men no one would think to look for right away. That was the profile, though no one knew it yet. In December 1989, a man named Richard Mallory, a 51-year-old shop owner, picked her up along Interstate 75. Weeks later, his body was found in the woods, shot multiple times in the chest. His car was found abandoned. His belongings turned up at a pawn shop. Investigators had no idea, yet, that they'd just found victim number 1. Because in June 1990, David Spears, a 43-year-old construction worker, was found dead in Citrus County, shot 6 times, left in the open. Days later, in Pasco County, 40-year-old Charles Carskadden turned up the same way. Then Troy Burris, a 50-year-old salesman in Marion County. Then Charles Dick Humphreys, a retired police chief and Air Force major, of all people, shot 6 times. Then Walter Gino Antonio, found on a remote logging road in Dixie County, shot 4 times. 7 men in 11 months, all robbed, all left along the same stretch of Florida highway. And somewhere in the middle of it, a man named Peter Seams simply vanished, his car found crashed, his body never recovered. A witness finally gave police a description. A composite sketch went out to the media, and for the first time, all of Florida was looking for the same woman. In January 1991, they found her. At a biker bar named The Last Resort, Aileen Wuornos was arrested. Tyria Moore, offered immunity, was brought in to help police get a confession. Over a series of recorded phone calls, Aileen admitted everything, to a version of everything at least. She said the men had raped her, or tried to. She said she'd only ever fired in self-defense. But investigators found nothing to support that story, and slowly, in her own words, Aileen began to unravel it herself. In January 1992, she went on trial for the murder of Richard Mallory, convicted, sentenced to death. 5 more death sentences would follow. She spent a decade on death row, adopted at one point by a born-again Christian who believed she could still be saved. Aileen wasn't sure she agreed. Her story became a bestseller, a movie deal, a courtroom outburst caught on tape. Everyone wanted a piece of the woman the FBI now called America's first female serial killer. In 2001, she asked the courts to stop her appeals. She said she was ready to die. On October 9, 2002, Aileen Wuornos was executed by lethal injection at Florida State Prison. She declined a last meal. She asked only for a cup of coffee. Her final words spoke of coming back. She never did. 7 men left home and never made it back. Aileen Carol Wuornos was born on February 29, 1956. She died on October 9, 2002. What she left behind wasn't a body count. It was a question we still haven't answered. How do you protect people from a danger no one's ever been trained to see coming? The case file closes here. The next one opens Monday.